Hello everybody, welcome to Sports Federation TV. We bring it to you every Friday night from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and of course the repeats on Saturday from 8 a.m. until 9 a.m. My name is JP Nordia. I'm standing in for Elton Davids tonight. Elton is of course away, but we're all part of the Western Province Sports Council, and that is what this show is about. It's Sports Council show for the federations. All the federations that belong to the Western Province Sports Council right here on Cape Town TV. So every week we speak to different federations or athletes that come out of the Cape Town Uni City area and give the federations and athletes as much as exposure as possible. Tonight we focus on running. Of course, you will all know that it was the Cape Town Marathon recently. Sue Forge will be very happy to know that her athletes are on the show and that the Cape Town Marathon is getting more exposure. But there's a new running club that has formed out of the Cape Town Marathon environment. And to tell us more about the new running club, which is of course MSA, Multisport Running Club, established at William Herbert, I've got the running captain, Binyamien Karriem, on the show with us, as well as the chairman of MSA Multisport, Nasrullah Enus. Nasrullah, you're the chair, so I'm going to start with you in terms of protocol. Welcome to Federation TV.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
And Binyamien, you're the running captain, so I'm taking you're more active than the chairman.
Yeah, I think he was active in the past, but I think he took on the role as the chairman now. So
Nasrullah, you're sort of laughing about it. I'm guessing that you're smiling. I don't know, what's the story? Are you still running?
Yes, I'm still running. Yeah, still running.
Yeah. How often do you run?
I think since having a heart attack 2 years ago.
You had a heart attack 2 years ago, really?
I never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
I was always fit in that, not realizing that in our family gene, we've got cholesterol and high blood issues.
It's one of those things you really have to think about and be aware of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those. I'm kind of jumping off the running topic here now because I'm curious. You must pay attention to your health and be aware of potential problems.
Yeah, but I think from the results that we after being discharged from Grooterskie Hospital, they say because of my fitness level, I avoided getting a stroke because the fitness took away all the danger stuff. Because if I wasn't fit, I would have definitely have suffered because my blood pressure was extremely high.
So did you start running more after your heart attack?
I started slowly.
Yeah.
And I started basically doing 10 kilometers and eventually running with my wife. She was more worried and cautious that I don't become ill again.
You don't want to get into that. Okay, well, I'm gonna cut you short there because I think we could probably end up with a whole different medical discussion. But I think I'm going to come talk to you. No, not that I'm hoping I don't have any heart problems, but maybe about how to start running.
Okay.
You start me off on about 500 meters and 600 meters. Binyamien, let's talk to you. You're an active runner, both of you obviously active runners. Tell us about your running history before we talk about the club. You obviously didn't, the club is just established now, a couple of days old literally after the Cape Town Marathon, but clearly you've got a running history before MSA Multisport.
Yeah, actually before the running I did cycling, about 13 years that I was involved with cycling.
Yeah.
My wife then convinced me to start running. She managed to get me into a 5K run, I think it was the Two Oceans run.
Yes.
And the next year I came back to do the 56K.
Really?
Yeah. So I've never seen a 21K Two Oceans yet. Strangely enough, because usually the guys they do 21 and then after a couple of years they will do a 56.
Really? So
but I think it's the cycling that actually took me through as well.
What's your advice then in general for people who want to start running? How do you get the ball rolling? Do you first start cycling and then you start running?
No, I think it's different. I think it's different with different people, man.
Yeah.
If you start off for the first time, I think you need to get slowly into it. Start walking, running. The cyclists on the other hand, and I think for the guys that's been involved with cycling or other sport, keeping in mind that we use different muscles when you run. So your cardiovascular is fine, but it doesn't mean your muscles is fine to run. And what actually happened to me, I injured myself the first 10K that I ran because my cardiovascular was fine, not knowing that my muscles couldn't take it.
You still have to condition your ligaments and your tendons and then your muscles. And of course, ligaments and tendons take so much longer to catch up with muscles because muscles grow so much quicker.
Because I was like 2 months, I think a month or two, I couldn't run. I couldn't walk properly after my first 10K. and that because I didn't follow the proper way of actually getting into it.
So if I am a member of the public and I want to start running and I come and join MSA Multisport, will you guys be able to guide me through the steps of running? Because I think a lot of people are quite scared to join a running club because they think that they're going to arrive on a Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock and immediately be asked to do a 5K.
No, I think it's the coach that actually takes him through the proper way of running, how to actually start off. Like I said, it depends where you are. So they first need to assess where you are, and then from there they can then take you onto a program.
So there's a small induction when I come and join the club. I obviously pay my fees and sign up and make a confession that I'm in good health, and that and then somebody at the club, a coach, will take me under their wing.
Yeah, they will take you on that good health as well. Is that I advise people to actually go for a checkup before they actually start running, because you don't know what is the underlying conditions, chronic conditions, etc. Before they actually start running.
All right, Nasrullah, let me go to you. Tell us about the foundation of Multisport then, MSA Multisport. You're based at William Herbert. You launched at the Cape Town Marathon. How did you guys come up with this idea of starting a running club? How did the running club establish itself?
I think the area of Wynberg, Plumstead, there was no athletic club in the area.
Yeah.
And William Herbert, I identified that because in my days I played soccer at William Herbert.
Everybody, I was going to say, you must have been a football player.
I was a football player for about 26 years. And I think the area itself needed some activity, especially the Wynberg, Plumstead area.
Yeah.
But our base is so broad because there's no club in Wetton, Lansdowne, Kenilworth and Kenwyn. So basically those areas is on the border of William Herbert or Wynberg. So in proximity it's about a kilometer away from each other.
It's quite surprising. I would have expected there to be a running club in that area. I'm surprised. So you saw an opportunity.
We saw an opportunity. We approached the FMC at William Herbert. They were very excited, although they never had athletics at all at the place. They've got 9 codes, and we just basically and also under probation with them. But so far they're impressed. They've realized that when we started off, we were a handful of people. Now we're getting an average of 30, 40 people, sometimes 50 at training nights. The
FMCs, for the folks that are watching out there, is of course the facilities managers that manage the various facilities within the city of Cape Town, who one can approach and see if they have room for sports at their facilities. I think a lot of people don't know in how the city operates, is that there are facilities with facilities managers who then take care of the club.
I might just say there, JP, the facility manager or chairperson, Marita Williams, what a lovely person. I spoke to her one Saturday for about 2 hours. We chatted, and she says, okay, let's have a formal meeting.
That's great.
And after that we chatted for another 3 hours, and she said, you're welcome. We've never had an athletic club here. You're welcome. Soon we're busy with development. We might accommodate you with a clubhouse or changing room and that. And the caretaker just opened up the facility for us, Mr. Julius. He's there, he watches our cars. We come in, when we're gone, he locks up again. So you're come to in a safe environment. You know, your car's safe.
But that's good to know. Okay, so now we've got a club, you've got established. Starting off with, how many people did you start off with? And you obviously had to form some sort of membership and a constitution, an executive, a committee. Tell us a little about the infrastructure of the club.
Western Province requirement is when you start a new club.
You're talking now about Western Province Athletics?
Athletics, yeah. To start a new club, you need a minimum of 20 people.
Okay.
We started, and it must be 20 people of non-club. You can't then draw people from different clubs to start your club. So it must be non-running, non-athletic. So you start 20, and we had 22 people to start the club.
Yeah.
And of course, we then had to form an executive. And Western Province, based on constitution, you need a chairperson, you need a treasurer, you need a secretary, you need a committee. So we submitted the committee, the names and that. And I think we drew people with the expertise, with experience that we drew on board.
You opened a bank account.
We opened a bank account. We got a sponsor, I think. I think that made the club basically for us to become more functional And I think one realizes if you don't have a backing financially or a sponsor, your club cannot move. For instance, to make this gear alone, just your T-shirts, 100 T-shirts or 114, 30,000 rands. Now, if you start off as a new club,
I think you need to. I need to think you find yourself a new supplier.
So,
no, but absolutely. Listen, Nasrullah, let's just pause it there for a second. We've got a video here that we want to show some of your training sessions. Then I want to come back to the club, and we want to speak to Binyamien as well about some of the activities and around the players. I mean, at least the athletes and stuff. But let's take a look at the training facilities, and then, folks, we're also going to show you some photographs of the actual launch of the club. Let's check out the training facilities.
I think the concept of the multisport came about. There's no other clubs in the Cape Flats area that has got the multisport. Most clubs are just running and walking. We felt that to get MSA, the exposure is we wanted to do wider than the running and walking. So we included now the cycling, which we will engage once we launch. We're going to launch on the 20th of September at the Cape Town Marathon. The majority of us is going to do the 10 kilometer all together, including the sponsor Muhammad. We're going to have our branding, our gazebo, everything will be there. What do you do? Hey, you take yourself? Okay, and I will take the walkers. Why are you laughing, Amina? All down again.
Then we just go, we just go over on top, then we turn around again.
Firstly, I would like to tell everyone that are doing that is like in the sport environment. Like to tell them, I would like to tell them to like take it seriously, because they don't know where they could end up in and who's watching. There's always people watching, and I never took it like seriously. I always took it like for a joke. I was first in Jack's program, and I always took that as a joke. But then afterwards, all that people that ran with me are all far, and all of them are Western Cape, Western Province champions, and all of them are obviously far better than me, and I didn't take it serious. So if I would have taken it serious, I would have been there, but I started again from the bottom, so I'm building myself again. Before the week, like in the mornings I do my mileage, and in the afternoon I like do my speed work. So like I run to school in the mornings. On the day of the race, before the day before, you must take a rest. Just the day? The day before, yeah. You must take a rest, you must relax, you mustn't do anything, just relax.
Welcome back, folks. Yes, of course, a fantastic little launch video. I'm not going to comment on it. Nasrullah, tell us a little bit more about that video there. Young guy that seems very passionate about running, and I can see that just in that video, and it just makes me think back to some of the other athletes out there across the sports who find it hard to have the opportunity to participate in sport. But tell us a little bit about the video itself and that young athlete.
Yeah, I think the video itself, that was our very, very first night of training on the 4th of August. It was very cold that night. It was extremely cold. It was raining, and I was just hoping that maybe we'll get a handful of people. And I was overwhelmed to see there was 34 people at training that night, and I couldn't believe it that on such a cold night we started our first training night. The young gentleman that you saw is Angelo Mateus. Is 18 years old. 3.5 years ago, we identified this youngster from the disadvantaged area of Retreat.
Yeah.
And he goes to a school in Fairmount High School.
Okay.
And he's never really run beyond the 200 meters and 400 meters at school. And 3.5 years ago, we identified him, and he came on board from the school. The school, we did say to the school that we will develop their youth.
Yeah.
And he started with us, and not running, not being
Just
a runner.
at Fairmont.
Yeah, at Fairmont
So
High
did you-
School.
at Fairmont
Not
High School?
Fairmont, Fairmount. In
Fairmount.
Grassy Park.
So you guys went to Fairmount. That's
Yeah.
of course in Grassy Park.
in Grassy Park.
You
yeah.
went there and you engaged with the teachers
Yes.
and said, listen, if you've got running, kids who are interested
Yes.
in running, come and join the club.
Yes.
Folks, I think that's fantastic. You know,
Yeah.
that's exactly the kind of transformation process that we're looking for. Because that's, for folks, if you don't know, there's a transformation charter in South Africa that says sports federations have to grow the youth sector. And the best way to do that is for clubs and federations to go assist at a school. So, you know,
Yeah.
hats off to you guys. You're off the starting block, so to speak, in the athletics phrase, in the right manner.
Yeah, you see, we were also looking at youth development.
Yes.
That is part of our vision, youth development together with the coach,
Yeah.
the sponsor, to provide each of our juniors, they don't pay any entry fee,
Yeah.
license fee, membership fee, they don't pay for the gear. We fully kit them out.
So
Yeah.
it looks like that it's an easy access. Binyamien, let me, which I think easy access into the sport is key. You know, it's very difficult for people sometimes to begin to play sport. You know, if you take a sport that's very expensive to play, it's hard to enter. But athletics is a little bit easier. Binyamien, just from a running perspective, what should the athletes themselves, when they join the club, be thinking about before joining, apart from the health factor? And we spoke earlier on also about the conditioning. But what is the first thing that the athletes themselves, especially a young kid like that should think about in the process? And what do they need to come and run? I mean, do you have to have a pair of running shoes? Do you have to have a shirt? What are the entry level criteria?
When it comes to the right type of shoe, that's probably one of the most important things that you need. Is the right shoe, because if you don't have the right shoe, you're definitely going to injure yourself.
But I was watching the Cape Town Marathon. There were a lot of people running barefoot.
Yeah, but that's the old style.
Yeah, old school Zola Bud style.
Old school, yeah.
So
But coming back to the shoe, I think that is for any runner, whether it's a junior, whether it's a senior, the right shoe. It's you can't. I think it's protocol to actually run with the proper shoe.
So what do we do for the kids out there that can't afford to buy a pair of running shoes that cost R1,000?
Yeah, I think.
Can you start off with just an old pair of tackies?
You can. Look, if you don't have a choice, then you have to start with either barefoot or
Which
old
is
pair.
probably, sorry to interrupt you, but it's probably not a good idea considering that your practice space is running in the public space.
Yeah.
The Cape Town Marathon, you could have run barefoot because they would have cleaned the track and that. But
Yeah, I think
or
it's-
the roads. But you don't want to go running at a
Yeah.
club
Yeah.
because you do run through the streets and so forth.
correct.
Yeah. Look what the children do when they come in. It's obviously the best tackies that they have to actually come in and run with it. And
Yeah.
then what we will see on our side, obviously we'll have to look at the budgets and so on, and then see if we can't assist them when it comes to actually buying
Yeah.
them running shoes.
But just to
proper
get the
running
ball
shoes.
rolling, old pair of tackies,
Old pair of
pair of
tackies
short
and coming,
pants,
yeah.
any pants.
Any pants, yeah.
Well-
Obviously we're going to kit them out with the sweaters and
Oh,
you
of
name
course, you
it,
pay
yeah.
your but how much is the membership to join?
I think Nasrullah can more.
JP, what we've done is to start off the club, because we had a fantastic sponsor
Yeah.
and sponsorship.
This is, of course, MSA
MSA consultants.
consultants, yeah.
Nobody paid an entry fee or license. A membership fee
Brilliant.
until the end of the year. Whoever joins now joins free.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
like, this is entry level bonus.
Bonus type.
Get in now.
Yes.
Okay,
But
sign
once
up.
we start in January, we will
Alright.
work out the budget
Okay.
and we'll then let members know what the fees
Then
will
after
be.
that is cut-off
Yeah.
time. The
But
freebies
JP,
are...
just about what Binyamien was saying about this junior that we just showed now. When he said we identify who needs and so on.
Yeah.
We mentioned certain people to the sponsor about the disadvantage and so on. And this particular youngster, he's in the top 10 in Western Province as a junior. He's
Yes.
running average about 33 and a half.
So you've identified him as a
Yes.
talent already,
As a
someone
talent,
with a great
yeah.
future.
So the sponsor then took him to a Sportsman Warehouse and bought him a pair of shoes. Running shoes of approximately R1,500. And this boy is over the moon with that.
Oh, that's
You know?
fantastic.
And he's never ever received something like that, where the sponsor felt, listen, I need to go and help this boy.
Okay, I'm going to, Binyamien, just, we're going to wrap it up now, but let's quickly take a look at some of the photographs from the launch. We haven't seen because, of course, that was the big
Yeah,
day in the
that's
Cape
the
Town
big
Marathon.
day,
Let's see
yeah.
some of the pictures that we've got here from the launch, and there we go, at the launch. That was, of course, at the clubhouse. So that looks fantastic. That's at William Herbert itself.
Yeah,
And there's the youngster that's getting now his pair of Nikes there, it looks like.
Yeah.
and then some more pictures of the launch. So you look, that's of course the Multisport gear that you've got there.
Yes,
I
that's
see
the sponsor, Mohammed Lamara, yes.
Muhammad Lamara, he's from MSA.
He's
Okay.
MSA consultant.
All right,
He's our
so
sponsor,
those are the
yeah.
new gear, and right. So Nasrullah, let me just ask you then, MSA Multisport, because we're gonna have to wrap it up now, and I think Binyamien, we're gonna have to get you back here again because we almost didn't talk to you enough tonight. But MSA Multisport, just in 10 seconds, tell us about MSA Multisport.
MSA Multisport Consultants is a consulting company that's based in Claremont,
Okay.
Sinclair Building. And I think when you heard about this club, that we want to form a club, after we engage, he's offered the club a substantial sponsorship over the 5-year period.
Right.
And an option to renew another 5 years. So one looks in essence
That's
for about
fantastic.
10 years.
All right, well, we've started off in the right way. Binyamien, this is what we want to do, though. We want to give sponsors this kind of coverage. This is exactly one of the reasons why he must have got involved with you. But just quickly, for folks who want to find out more about MSA Multisport, where do you go? Is there a website? Is there an email address? Who can you phone? I want to start running tomorrow. What do I do?
There is a website. There's also a Facebook page.
Okay.
So
So
you
if I
can
go
actually
to Facebook, I just do search.
Facebook, or the website, or they can actually just contact our secretary
All
or
right.
chairman. Yeah.
Okay, so MSA Multisport, it's in William Herbert. Rock up there, come and speak to the facilities manager or find Nasrullah. Folks, a fantastic sport to be involved in, and as you heard earlier on, also probably a good idea to consider your health. And it's not too late to start any form of exercise. And if you're in the Lansdowne area, in that neck of the woods, you want to start running, well, now there's a club there for you. It's not just football. Binyamien, thank you very much for joining us on Sports Federation TV, and we
No problem.
hope to have you again soon.
Yep, I'll definitely be back.
Fantastic.
Soon.
And Nasrullah, fantastic initiative. Congratulations to you and the team. I think you guys have done a fantastic job to get yet another sporting facility off the ground and an opportunity for athletes to come and participate.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity from Western Province Sports Federation TV. I think it's something that we need. I think the club will now grow tenfold of the public, the community in Cape Town will see.
Well, let's see how that goes.
Just on that heart attack problem of his, he's lucky to have a paramedic with him.
Are you the paramedic?
That's me, yeah.
All right, Binyamien, fantastic, because the FMCs are very concerned about safety.
Yeah.
The facilities. So I think that the city of Cape Town will one of these days be looking at supporting the paramedics. But if you're a paramedic, that'll make me feel a lot more comfortable if I come running, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get past that 500-meter mark. Right, folks, we're going to leave it at that then. MSA Multisports, they've just launched. They're at William Herbert. If you're interested, go to Facebook. Just do a search there for MSA Multisport to find out how to go and join. William Herbert, a great opportunity, athletics coming out the starting blocks, so to speak. Right, when we come back, we're going to be speaking to Danielle Davids and Shitesh, and we'll find out a little bit more about trail running and some of the activities that took place at the Cape Town Marathon. We'll delve into the hows and the whys and the whats of running itself. We'll be back after the ad break. You're watching Sports Federation TV.